Welcome back, fire signs. This is your general collective reading for the week of May 15th, okay? If you're new here, we do this every week. I do all readings for all the elementals, so that's all the fire signs, water signs, earth signs, air signs, all that fun stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from this oracle deck to see what the overall energy is, what the overall theme is for your week. And then I'm going to use the Akashic Tarot to find out what energy is working against you, what's working for you, and then what is unseen. And I will clarify with this tarot deck over here, and then we'll get into some more oracle. We're just going to see everything that we can see for you for this week. That way you can navigate the week a lot better and you know how to handle situations, okay? So let's see what the overall theme is. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can share this with whoever you think needs to see it, okay? So let's see. Ooh, we have Pluto rebirth. I love that, especially because we have Mercury direct now. Thank God, right? Mercury's finally direct. We do still have the 2-week shadow period, so we're going to be like, coming out of that heavy energy. So if you're still feeling a little bit wonky, that's okay. Don't think it's just you and there's something wrong. It's just the energy is lightening up now, and we're going to be able to move forward nicely. Plus, we have the new moon in Taurus on Friday, the 19th. So this is a great, great, great time for you to start manifesting. Really, because Jupiter is entering Taurus, and that means an expansion on our finances, an abundance, everything. Okay, so if you want to join our new moon circle, I will have that up soon, and you can join us and manifest with us. So here we have Pluto rebirth. This is all about a renewal, right? Letting go of the old self and coming out renewed. So let's see how that plays into the whole reading. I love doing these readings because I get such great feedback from a lot of you. I know some of y'all are here from TikTok. Some of you are just here from YouTube. Doesn't matter. But I love that it's helping you all. So thank you so much for the feedback. So let's see what all we need to know. Let's get into the juicy details. Okay, so what is working against you? We have the 5 of Forces, summer and winter. What's working for you? We have the 1 of Forces, the Akashic Field in reverse. And then the unseen. We have Adsum in reverse. Okay, let me put this deck down right quick. So what we see here as the 5 of Forces as something that would be working against you, this would normally be a positive direction for this card to be, but when it's in the position of something working against you, we're going to see it as the reverse, okay? So what it's saying is that you most likely have been going through a portion of like stagnation, where it feels like everything maybe has like come to a halt, or things are dormant, and it's like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, especially with Mercury being retrograde. Gosh, the last couple of weeks or so were pretty brutal. And so what this is telling you is like, we're coming out of that. Okay, so don't worry, because you have a chance of rebirth, right? Think of everything goes dormant here in the winter time, but then we have this rebirth. And sometimes it can be really scary coming into like ourselves and letting our true selves be reborn and renewed and showing that to the world. Okay, so you might think it's working against you, but that's only perceived energy that is working against you. Okay, so let's see what the tarot wants to say. I'm going to pull 2 cards for each of those, and we'll get into it deeper. And the planet of Pluto, I was trying to say Pluto and planet at the same time, but the planet of Pluto is all about really transformation, deep transformation. Okay, so this is really a good thing. It's not always easy, but it turns out to be really good. So here we have the King of Cups, and we have the Tower. Look at that. Yep. So again, going through this emotional, you might have had an emotional breakdown. And you might still even experience something like that this week, okay? Because you're wanting this newness. You're wanting this turning of the cycle, right? The turning of the wheel. And it's not always easy, right? Because we're trying to like hold ourselves steadfast. You know, we're trying to navigate these waters, but we're like hanging on to old ways that are crumbling, which is what this does. Okay, it's crumbling the things that are not meant for us. And so this is exactly why this is what feels like is working against you. But again, it's perceived because you see this is crumbling, but they're hanging on to it. So they're wanting to keep the old ways, but the universe is like, no, this was not meant for you. This was built on a faulty foundation. This is your old ego self that needs to break down. And so there's just a sense of trying to navigate these rough waters. And believe me, you can do it, okay? So what's working for you is we have the One of Forces in reverse, the Akashic Field in reverse. So this is interesting that we have the Tower and then we have this in reverse. So the Akashic Field in reverse talks about fragmented energy, okay? So what this is saying is like things need to break down so they can be rebuilt, right? Let's see. We have the Knight of Wands, nice. And we have the Fool in reverse. There, you know, what this is saying is, you know, when we see the Knight of Wands wants to be free, okay? They want to be able to follow their passion. They follow their intuition. They are, you know, the young at heart type of energy. And they desire freedom. They really crave and desire freedom. They have to have personal freedom. And they want to be able to pursue their passions. And they are the ones that want to go experience everything and everyone, okay? It's Sagittarius energy. So there we go, fire signs. Now, Sagittarius is also a very spiritual energy as well, okay? So we have this fragmented energy, right? And we have this desire for freedom, but there's this fear to step forward. There's this fear to, or maybe feeling of like being held back, like, okay, it's not the right time to take this leap of faith or to start this new journey, okay? So this is helping you because whatever was breaking down here, it's helping you to rebuild, okay? So this is like, where do you want to go? What is it that you want to experience? Especially with this new moon in Taurus coming up, you're going to get to manifest the things that you are passionate about, okay? Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about passion and love, okay? Now, the unseen is we have add some in reverse. Now, this is unseen because this is telling you like you have not reached your pinnacle yet. And that's not anything against you. It's just like, hey, you've got more to look forward to. Because the add some talks about like arriving. And we have master number 22 here. And so it's like, I finally arrived. I'm finally here. And it's interesting that we have this rebirth associated with this. It's like, okay, I'm not in my power state yet, but I am working on that. So let's pull a couple of cards. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. And the Four of Cups. Interesting. Yeah, because there's a feeling of unfulfillment. Okay? So this is nice because this is telling you that since we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, you're going through this this phase of a rebirth. Like whatever you feel like is kind of being chaotic right now is actually meant to break apart so you can rebuild it, so you can have that sense of freedom, so you can finally say, I've arrived. Okay? Because what's going on underneath is like this feeling of unfulfillment, like I'm just not there yet. I'm unsatisfied. You know, whatever I've done in the past isn't working. You may emotionally keep going back to the past, and so you need help shedding all of that energy. It's just a lot, but it's all meant for you to have that personal freedom. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. If not, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm happy to answer. But let's see. What else do we need to know? And it could be that, you know, we we feel like we've worked through some things. We feel like we've let go of the past, but it still finds a way to creep in. And sometimes we can see that as something that's meant to help us. Okay, we don't want to always think about things that are meant to like hold us down. Sometimes we're reminded of things from the past because it fuels our fire. Okay, so you can use it that way. So look, we have closing door, completion. Number 5, you're going through this change. Okay, going through this rebirth. The Tower, right? That's the ultimate door closing. Interesting. And it could be there is a closing of the door of lack. Okay, closing of the door of things finally, or like constantly feeling like they're falling apart, and closing the door of this sense of stagnation. Okay, we got to close the door to the old self so we can be reborn, so we can actually live in our true essence. Okay, so let's see what else we need to know. And I like that the Pluto card is number 27. So 2 is like, okay, there's a decision to make. You could go this way or this way. And 7 is a highly spiritual number, right? So it's like, which path are you going to take? Because one path focuses on the ego self and another path focuses on the true higher spiritual self. Which one you want to choose? It's your decision. So let's see. What else do we need to know? The rattle. It's interesting because this is a shamanic tool, and the rattle is used to break up energy. Okay, so like if you have stagnant energy, it'll sense and break up energy. And you may need to be focusing on cleansing out your chakras, your energy fields, especially if you need that. Go see Anne. She's our shamanic practitioner, and she's used a rattle on me before. It was very interesting and really cool. But here we have 4 and 3. Okay, so another 7, right? So 4 is about practicality, stability, and 3 is a highly spiritual number 2. It's the mind, body, spirit. So we want to connect all of those, and that's what's going to lead you forward. And also the rattle talks about, the rattle is a spiritual tool, okay? And this is what calls the spirit in. So it's like, if you're going to do this, right, we've got to do it right. We've got to allow the door to close. We've got to be willing to go through this rebirth. And you want to be doing things properly, I guess you could say. Just like, there's a way to read tarot. There's a way to use all these tools. And so if you're wanting to have this cycle turn and you're wanting to tap into your higher self, you want to do things the right way, which is clearing your energy, which is grounding your energy, using tools the proper way. I mean, we see it being misused all over social media, right? So this is telling you that if you want to do this rebirth, if you want to go through this cycle, if you want to go through this awakening and this growth, we got to do it the right way, okay? Because I've seen many people talk about like they've had scary things happen when they were trying to do tarot readings or whatever else it is they're trying to do. And it's like, well, it's because you were being irresponsible. You weren't doing it properly. You weren't white lighting yourself, grounding yourself. You weren't, you were doing it for the ego. And so the ego showed up in a scary way. So that's why we have to do things the right way. It's not about, oh, you just do what feels right to you. No, that's why we learn from the elders. That's why we take apprenticeships and learn the right way to connect and to do this work, because it's serious. This is not a game, okay? So if you're wanting to get serious about your transformation, then we've got to do it the right way. Otherwise, it's going to keep circling back around and get worse and worse and worse, okay? Look at this. Rainbow, waterfall, miracles. Look at that. I love this. This is exciting because what this is telling you is when you go through this change, when you finally close the chapter on this stagnation and this fear and whatever it is that you've been hanging on to, and you really start to rebuild, you start to see miracles. Miracles are, alignment. Okay, they are you going through this transformation. You see with the butterflies here, going through the transformation and really allowing yourself to be who you are destined to be. Okay, your divine self. Everybody has permission to do that. Nobody is special on that account of like, oh, they get to live their truth, but I don't. No, absolutely not. Everybody has the potential to live their truth, their highest vibration. Okay. We had that this morning on the weekly tarot reveal. So we had it come through this deck, and it was about the North Node, your destiny, your future. Okay. So make sure you watch that video as well. There was a lot of really great insight in that video as well. So couple that one with this one, and you're going to have a well-rounded viewpoint of this week. So I just tried to split the deck, and it was not ready. So that's why I continued. Let's see what else we need to know. Look at that. Victory. See? I'm telling you. Look, we have miracles. We have victory. And look, she's just enjoying it. Right? So we have 2 and 8. So here we have 27 going through the rebirth. Okay? And then we have 28, finding victory. Victory looks different to everybody. Okay? So what is success to you? What is your happy place? What is it that you want? And we have miracles, rainbow miracles. And we see the rainbow as, like a lot of people say it as God's promise, right? That you're always going to be taken care of, and miracles can happen. So that's part of your transformations. We're always going to go through cycles. We're always going to go through hard times and good times. It never ends, okay? It does get to a lesser degree because we learn how to navigate things, but we're always going to go through cycles. So don't think that you're going to reach this pinnacle and then nothing is ever going to go wrong again. That doesn't happen. But you reach a certain point and you are able to navigate the waters of change, okay? Because you see it from that higher 5D state. You see it from the spiritual side instead of just the human side, okay? And we're not trying to escape being a human. We're here to be human, right? We're here to experience, but we want to be able to see this experience from a higher perspective, okay? So anybody that's trying to tell you like, get out of the matrix and all that delusional stuff, that's not possible. You learn to work the matrix or work with the matrix. So let's see. We have Marak. Embrace oneness with the universe. Well, there we go. And look, it's a hand, looks like, or is that a foot? I think that's a foot, yeah, grounding down to the earth, okay? So, like I was saying, we have to connect. We have to do things properly. If we're not grounding our energy, if we're not protecting our energy, if we're not working with the right tools, and we're not allowing things to close off or to leave that need to, which interesting, we have 5 and 5. I just caught that. If we're not doing all that, then it gets really hard. Okay, that's when life is really hard, when we resist all of this. So this week, your focus is going to be on, okay, whatever's going on that I'm fearing, whatever I'm hanging on to, I'm going to allow it to flow. I'm going to allow it to go because it's causing me emotional upset. It's causing me to continually repeat these cycles, and it's messing with my vibration. Okay, because what I really desire is personal freedom and spiritual enlightenment and to explore, right? Because I know that I have not yet arrived to my divine place, to my highest vibration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let things close off. I'm going to do things the right way. I'm going to know that if I do this, the universe has my back, and I'm going to be in a great position. Okay. And so this is a really nice reading of just telling you, like, let's work with the earth, work with the universe, the energy, everything to bring about whatever it is that you are desiring. And no more hanging on to old ways and letting the things from the past fuel you instead of drain you. Okay? So I hope this inspires you because, again, like I said, we're coming out of Mercury retrograde. We're shedding that energy. We're navigating forward. And now we're going to start seeing that expansion happening with Jupiter going into Taurus for the next year. Right? So what more motivation do you need to let things go than to finally be financially stable, financially abundant, financially secure, and to find that personal freedom? Because yes, that is one part of life, right? But it's a big part. Because it's not that people want money, it's people want freedom. Okay? So whatever freedom looks like to you, there you go. You can move towards it. All right? So have a wonderful week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody that you know needs to see it. And if you need anything, all the links are in the description, okay? All right, I'll see you next week.